Assalamu alaikum, I'm Nazma Khatun. I'm a counsellor, psychotherapist, and a life coach. And today I'm going to be talking to you about leaving your ex and whether you should go back or not. So I want to talk to you about when you've separated from your ex and there's been a period of separation and you're thinking whether I should go back or not. And it does come up a lot, and in relationships where it's deteriorating, you might go through a period of separation, and sometimes it's good. So when is it good to have the separation and when is it not good? I think it's good to have a separation when it's clear why you're having the separation. If both of you are saying, look, let's have a period of time where we think about things, each of you get help separately, get some counselling, get some support, then I think that having that separation is really good because it gives you perspective, it gives you some space, and it allows you to both come back and work together on the problem. When you've separated under bad terms and you are on the verge of divorce, or you've got to a place where you've been abused and you've gone through lots of different stages of coming and going, what I would say is this. So if you separated and you're thinking whether I should make it up or not, then I think it depends on a few factors. Number one, was there abuse? Because if there was abuse, it's not very often that abusers change overnight. Because usually what happens, you'll be going around the cycle of abuse, okay? So there'll be the love bombing, and then there'll be the eggshells, and then there'll be the incident, and it'll go round and round. What you want to do is observe that, because if that person comes back to you and says, oh, let's get back together, let's try again, it could just be their honeymooning period. They've done all of that, they don't want to lose you, so they start treating you really well, so you go back. One way that you will know whether you should go back to somebody who's abused you or not is how much help they get and willingness to get help. If they're prepared to go to counselling, if they're prepared to talk to family members that you can get, and they own up to the things that they're doing and they're sincerely saying, look, I want to make these changes, then I think it's okay to try and go back into that situation. But I also think you need a big period of time where you're away from that abuse so that you can work on yourself. You can find out what the patterns are. You can see whether you were codependent. You can see the patterns of abuse and what they do. You can see all of that. If you were being beaten, I really, really advise you not to go back, especially if there's been no work done, okay? Some people can change, but it is so unsafe for you to be in a situation where you're systematically abused, and it's so easy to fall back into that trap. It's so easy to say, I'm lonely, I need him, he's going to be nice to me now, because those things will happen. But it's up to you to look after yourself, to recognise those patterns, and to decide while you're away from him, look, this is what I've gone through. Is this person capable of change? And you have to be able to see that, not just they're saying they've changed, not just that I will change. There has to be a commitment to that change, and whether that's going to couple counselling together, whether that's having a period of time away where you get to observe them and see if you can see the triggers, but mostly it's about your awareness level. Because once you're aware and you can start exploring what happened, you'll start changing and you'll start having come from a position of empowerment. And when you have that in your toolbox, then you can decide, okay, actually, no, I'm not willing to be abused anymore. It's to do with your self-worth. It will rise and it will rise and it will rise. And then the decision that you make will be very different to the decision that you make if you're just stuck in that. If you're going back straight away, if you're going back for the neediness, if you're going back because he's been nice to you, those are the wrong reasons to go back. Those are the absolutely wrong reasons. If you've not been in an abusive relationship and you've been having problems, again, it's the same thing I would say, is work on you for a bit. Go and seek some coaching, go and seek some counselling, go and find out who you are. And they need to do the same. And I think it should be a parallel process. And whether they do it or not, you need to do it. And this is why. Because when you start to work on you, just like in the abuse situation, and you start to see what your passions are, you start to see what your needs are, and you start to see what's healthy and what's not and what you want, the clearer that you are, the more certain that you are, and you'll change, you'll show up in that way, and that will have an impact on your partner. And then you can decide, okay, actually, this is where I'm at. I'm choosing to stay because now the changes have happened in me. I recognize some things that were in me and they change with that. Or actually, I've realized that I'm not fulfilled in this relationship. I'm not getting everything that I want and I desire and I feel is my right. I'm not getting those things. And that other person isn't showing any change or willingness to meet you halfway. Then I would say, no, don't go back. There's no rush. Take your time. But please, 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 before we even think about are we going to go back to that person, the question is, how much work are you going to do on you? Stop focusing on them. Focus on you. Even that question, should I go back, should be a focus of whether you go back, whether you want to go back. Like, it's your decision. But you can't make that decision in the same mind frame that you had when you were in that relationship because it wasn't working. The space will be immensely valuable for you as long as you use it wisely. Use it to learn about you. Use it to learn about understanding what happened, why it happened, how it happened, what do you want, who are you? When you explore all of those things and you get a good coach and you get counseling and support and you read books on relationships and the needs, your awareness level will rise. And only then can you go back 100% and decide whether you want to stay in that relationship or not. Thank you for listening. If you would like some more information, please visit my website. It's nazmakhatunofficial.com. I will also be on YouTube, Nazma Khatun. Have a look on there. There's been lots of other resources and videos around, how we develop ourselves after a broken marriage, how we develop ourselves within that marriage, how we become better people, how we raise our awareness levels and show up in the world in the way that we were meant to show up and not half broken and needy and wanting and allowing other people to abuse us. We don't want that. We want to serve Allah as healthy, functional human beings. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you guys to achieve that. Jazakallah khairan for listening. Assalamu alaikum.